hurt experience, past trauma, whatever the issue is, like a painful experience. But here's the thing. When we come out of that, when God delivers us from that, why are we staying in it? Like holding on to it. Like, I understand it's sometimes easier to stay in our comfort zone, even if that means living in our pain, living in our trauma. But if God brought you out of that, why do we continue to remain in it? Like, why are we holding on to that trauma? Why are we still living in that trauma? What is holding us back from moving forward? If God has brought you out and you have overcome it, we have got to let go. And I say this for me because yesterday I kind of had a revelation. I've been through the ringer just in the last year, but in my entire life, I have been through so much. But over the past 4 or 5 months, God has delivered me from so much of the trauma, so much of the pain. I've overcome so much of the hurt that I had held on to for over 40 years. But for some reason, I was in this stuck place, and it was like a light bulb came on yesterday where God revealed to me that I was realizing that I was comfortable in that trauma because I was in it for so long that I felt safe there because I knew how to handle it. I knew how to prepare for it. Like, I knew what to do if it came because I was always living in this hyper vigilant state to where it's like, okay, I know this is going to happen. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I didn't know how to be happy. I didn't know how to accept the good things in my life because I was so comfortable in living in the bad. We have to understand that God didn't bring us out of our trauma for us to stay in it, but He brought us out of it to free us, to set us free, to begin to walk in our purpose. He is healing. He healed us. And we have to let go of the past. We have to let go of the promise because we want to be able to fulfill our purpose. And we want the transformation and that growth that comes from overcoming our pain and our struggles and our traumas. But when we stay in it, we're kind of saying, God, I don't believe that you can carry me. I don't believe that you can make my life better. We're essentially kind of questioning Him a little bit. So I just want to encourage you today to not let your past rob you of your future. Not let your past rob you of the fullness of God that He wants to do in your life, the impact that you can have, the impact that your testimony can have on others. Because like for me, it was like I was staying stagnant because I felt like if I moved forward, it was, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's been very overwhelming and stifling. And I couldn't understand why I was having such a hard time moving forward. Why was it difficult now more so than it was in the past when I felt the fullness of God, before I really had all this trauma revealed to me and started to heal from it. And all of a sudden it was like, shouldn't I be happier? Like, why am I not feeling better? Like, why do I still feel like this? And I realized it's because I wanted to stay in it, because I was comfortable in it. So I just want to encourage you today to let go of the past. It takes courage to really step into what God has for you, and it takes faith, trusting that His plan and His purpose for your life is far better than you could ever imagine. It's far better than all the pain that you've experienced. And He can take that pain and He can turn it into something that will minister to other people, that will help other people, because that's what our testimonies are. We are healed by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. So take that pain, take that trauma, take that struggle, whatever it is that God has brought you out of, and use it to glorify Him. Don't just sit on it. Don't just stay in it. Don't just remain in it and get comfortable in it. Step out on faith. Step out and trust God that He has taken it. It is gone. It is over. When I did this last night, my daughter kind of sat with me and prayed with me, and it was almost like I went into, I don't know. It was like I fell asleep. I don't know. I was awake, but sleep, it was weird. But after, I just felt like this overwhelming peace and this overwhelming joy, and it was like as if God was holding me and hugging me, and it was so beautiful. And when I finally kind of came to, I was like a noodle. I felt weightless. Like, when the Bible tells us that He will carry our burdens, it was like I released it all. Even though He had already healed me from the pain that I was going through and all the hurt that I had endured in my childhood, in my adult life, in my marriage, and everything that I have gone through, I was realizing I was comfortable in staying in that state. But it was like all of it melted away. And today I walk lighter. Like I feel lighter. Like I don't feel that heavy burden. I was like I had all this stress in my neck, in my shoulders, in my back. I couldn't sleep. Like I would be up late at night. My mind was constantly going. But last night was the first night that I slept so peacefully and so soundly. I did not toss and turn. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. It was a pure release of all that weight that I was carrying, that I was comfortable in. And now I can walk truly in the joy and the peace and the comfort that God has for me. And I just want to encourage you to do the same. I know it can be hard, especially if you've lived in it for so long and you kind of think to yourself, well, I'm comfortable there. That's all I know, so I want to stay there. When you really let go and really give it all to God, there are no words to describe the feeling. Now I just want to walk in my purpose. I want to continue to move forward. And not only that, even in Beauty for Ashes, I was so confused. I was just I don't know where God wants me to take this. I don't know what I'm doing. I was so discouraged. I was discouraged as a mom. What am I doing? I've made all these mistakes as a mom. I've made all these mistakes as a wife. I felt like a failure. And it was kind of okay because I knew how to respond to failure. But now it was like I got revelations on even Beauty for Ashes, the direction that I've been praying for. I finally got it. So I'm thankful for God just coming to me and revealing these things to me and showing me. And now that I've let go of the trauma and realizing that how comfortable I was in living in that trauma because I knew nothing else, I look forward to the life that God has for me. And I encourage you to do the same, because our purpose may not be the same, our callings may not be the same, but He has a purpose for you too. And if you could just step out and allow God to heal you up from that pain, but not just let Him heal you, give it to Him fully and completely. Don't hold on to it, let it go. And you will find the joy and peace that you crave. So I just thank you guys for watching, and as always, trust the process, embrace the journey, and always, always trust God. Be blessed and be a blessing. Thanks, guys.